Ryan, so this festival is, you're one of the idea guys. You thought it up.
I'm one of the creators,
Yeah.
certainly. There's three of us. The idea was originally brought to me by Neil Matson, guitar player here in town. He reached out to the PJCE and said that the chair of his neighborhood committee in Montavilla was interested in a jazz festival in that neighborhood. So I went with Neil to a neighborhood association meeting and introduced myself, met the guy, and his eyes lit up as soon as I mentioned the project. And so he and I, his name is Fritz Hirsch, he and I met a couple times and talked about what we might want to do and the idea of the festival and stuff. And then we brought in Neil to be on the planning committee as well, and we also brought in a friend of Fritz's named Aaron Heyman, and he's been helpful too. So it's been the four of us that have really just done the bulk, I want to say all the work, but it's not all the work. We've had a couple outside advisors and stuff like that too, because this is all of our first time doing a festival like this. So
Now, there are lots of festivals. This has a kind of a unique cast to it, unlike, I mean, it isn't like any of the other festivals.
that's good to hear from someone like you. That's great. That was the idea. So as the director of the PJCE, I was hoping that this would be a PJCE festival. So we would have record label acts, and we would have an ensemble presence, and friends of the PJCE. And I thought it would be even called like PJCE Festival. The PJCE, for those that you don't know, is the Portland Jazz Composers Ensemble. It didn't end up working out that way for a number of reasons, but the PJCE is still, it has its stamp on it, and I think you can see that in the billing as well as it says it on the poster and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad that it's apparent that it's a little bit different than other festivals.
Yeah, I don't want to put the kiss of death on this or anything, but it has a little more intellectual or thoughtful musical side to it.
Yeah, one of the people that we approached, they said, "Oh, so this is like musician music."
Yes.
There was a lot of musicians, but yeah. So I guess I'm one of the performers, and when I write music and stuff, I don't really think of it like that, or I don't perform for other musicians. But it's certainly, there's a high degree of musicianship across the board. I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So what was the philosophy when you were curating this? What did you want to do?
I wanted to give people a chance around town. Well, I wanted people that don't often get booked at festivals around town to have a chance to show their creative output as well, because there's a lot of great people in this town, and not all of them end up in the same old places. Not same old places.
I know, but we know what you mean.
I don't want to take away.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's true, however. But go on.
Great. So forward thinking is one of the things that I think everyone has in common at this. Some of these people are on the outer side, the avant-garde side. Almost, I hope all the music is original. That's kind of been a big thing of mine. So no standards, and if there's standards, they hopefully will be done in a very creative way. I mean, all standards should be played in a creative way anyway, but hopefully you know what I mean too. An emphasis on originality, creativity, forward thinking, modern, definitely. Those are the ideas behind the program, the festival.
So tell me about the venue, because most people don't know about it.
It's not a music venue. It is a black box theater. They mostly do Shakespeare. It's an award-winning production that puts it on. But they are in the Montavilla neighborhood. It's a post-5 theater, and they are going to let us take over the post-5 theater for 2 days.
That's that building with artist residences.
It is. There's a theater attached to that, so it's kind of separate from the Mile Post 5 housing. But there are a bunch of artists that live in there, yes.
So somebody has got to start spouting Shakespeare from the stage. With the lineup that you have and the personalities involved, Wilcox maybe. Wilcox would be the guy to start spouting Shakespeare from the stage.
be.
He would.
Yes.
So what are you going to do? What is your band going to do?
I am playing the PJCE Core Sextet. So a paring down of the large ensemble is playing. They're kicking off the festival at 2 p.m. on Saturday, August 16th. And we're actually featuring Daryl Grant on piano on that one, but I'm in the Core Sextet, so I'll be playing guitar in that. Ken Hollis is playing drums, Tom Barber's playing trumpet, Lee Elderton's playing sax, and John Shaw's playing bass.
Awesome.
Yeah, excited to play with Daryl on that, and I think he's going to be curating it as well. But all the tunes, again, will be original, penned by band members and arranged for that sextet.
Yeah.
And then later that evening, after the Blue Cranes play, I'm playing with my quintet, which is also featuring Daryl Grant. But I'm extra excited to have one of my best friends and longest musical colleagues, or cohorts, Vinny Sparazza, is thankfully here in Oregon this summer. He's on my first 2 records, and he's like an actor and a musician in the Shakespeare Festival. Here's a recurring theme of Shakespeare down in Ashland, and he's itching to play, so he's going to come up and play with me that night. So that's going to be a treat. So him, Daryl Grant, and Dave Ambrosio, another guy that I know from New York, he's going to be in town too, so hopefully he's playing bass on that. And Tim Wilcox is playing with me that night, so that's it.
You have a lot of courage to follow the Blue Cranes.
I know. Well, you know, when you book your own festival, you can kind of put yourself wherever you want.
I saw a quote the other day, Mick Jagger's saying that the worst decision that the Rolling Stones ever made was to follow James Brown at the Tammy Show.
I wouldn't want to follow James Brown.
No, but but that should be an interesting change of pace.
Yeah.
After the Blue Cranes.
The programming was built that way too, so as not to wear anyone's ears out. So there shouldn't be too much of one thing, and it should be kind of staggered. So, for instance, I believe Alan Jones and the Cavemen is followed by Optic Nerve Trio. So that's an Ocular Concern spin-off, right? Right. Yeah, it's a paring down of the Ocular Concern, and so they're on the outer side, on the stretchy side, and Alan Jones and the Cavemen are going to be more towards the middle. So it's a nice pairing. Yeah. Well, listen, Oregon Music News is real happy to be one of the media sponsors, and we're happy to be
happy to. It's going to be a really interesting weekend of music.
Absolutely.
So good luck.
Thanks.